And welcome back to Whiskey Buds. I'm Kurt,
No, Billy.
and we are still on our search for a whiskey that Billy will like. Although we really kind of found one last episode, or no, it wasn't last. It was last filmed episode.
That was episode 6.
Yeah, back in episode 6, we did find one that he actually did like, for the most part.
But it just happened, so
Yeah,
there's some kind of time traveling going on.
that's
Their
it.
episodes.
Yeah. Don't try
confusing us.
to. Yeah, it might as well be an X-Men movie. Anyways, I was really surprised at what we're going to review today, or what we're going to review. It's really not a review. This is more just like exploring whiskey. So, I was really surprised that you came up with a brand that most people in the general population don't know. They know your usual, like Crown Royal and whatever else they might be drinking. I was going to say Jim Beam and Jack Daniels, Jim Daniels, something like that, and Johnny Walker, right? You know all your usual
Jack
names.
Daniels?
Yeah, Jack Daniels.
Jim
Yeah.
Davis. That's his cousin.
Yeah, that's the one who didn't make it well in the distilling business that we don't hear about.
Yeah.
But they know most of those, and so when you talk into somebody who's still learning about whiskey, I was really surprised when he asked if I had any Buffalo Trace, which, yeah.
You know why?
I did. Yeah, I can't believe you asked for that.
So I went and was taking a look on Reddit, and there's a bunch of subreddits for like whiskey and scotch and whatever. So I just browsed them all, and I noticed the Buffalo Trace is one that, a lot of people were excited to be bringing home.
Okay, yeah.
So I was like, well, that'd be interesting to try then.
Yeah. We have an interesting deal. This is, Buffalo Trace and the parent company, I can't remember what it is, but it's Buffalo Trace Distillery. They make a lot of really popular whiskeys. Weller, Antique 107, which we'll try later on that we talked about, and any of the Weller brands, Stag Jr., which we will try later, and George T. Stagg, along with Blanton's. You know that one? That's all made by the same distillery.
Oh, okay.
And so what's interesting is that they make all those different kinds. And the real kind of curiosity behind Buffalo Trace is that people would go to the Buffalo Trace Distillery, and people at home might already know this, but Billy doesn't. So they would show up to the distillery and take a tour. And they would give them samples on the tour of the different whiskeys that they were making, And at the end of the tour, they were constantly asked, well, we haven't tried any Buffalo Trace whiskey. And they said, no, you had the Blantons, you had, all of the other stuff. They're like, what? No, we don't make a Buffalo Trace whiskey. And it was such a prevalent question that they finally decided that we are going to just make a standard bourbon, something that could be considered standard, and finally make it under the Buffalo Trace label. So it was people coming to the tour of the distillery that finally got them to make a Buffalo Trace whiskey versus all the other brands. So that's kind of an interesting.
Well, it's got a. So that I don't know why it's actually called Buffalo Trace, but this is a
Bison?
not a buffalo. This is American bison
Okay.
because we used to raise bison.
Yeah. All
And
right.
I know that that's kind of the wrong name,
Is it?
but
Bison Trace?
everybody calls them buffalo. I mean,
Yeah.
it's like it's not technically correct, but it's
See, like
everybody knows that.
dropping
that's a
some
buffalo.
knowledge on here. This is cool. All right, now we generally take too long, I think, to pour.
They were like talking.
Yeah. Now we did this. Now, so this here is 45%, so it's 90 proof, and they don't release the mash bill, so we don't know exactly what's going on, but we do know it's the same mash bill as some of the other whiskeys. Now the names of them escape me. George T. Stagg and Eagle Rare, which I do have some Eagle Rare in the cabinet that we can try. So we can even compare that later on. And it's, I believe, a low rye mash bill, something like 10% or less rye. But this is their stuff. We did take some notes to see we should be looking for some caramel, some honey, some orange, and vanilla on the nose. And we're taking notes now just to try to see tasting things that we're going to help try to get Billy to be able to try to pick out of the glass to see if he can't smell them.
It smells good. I think I can smell the honey in there.
Okay, that should be something similar to what you're smelling with that 40 Creek that you liked.
Yeah, but it's not.
I think I get a hint of that orange.
Yeah, it doesn't have like the real fruity smell like the apricot.
Okay.
From the
40 Creek. All right. I do. I'm getting a hint of that orange in here.
I think I can.
I actually know what oranges smell like.
A little bit of citrus. Tiny bit. Starting to smell better as you like kind of can actually identify those.
Oh yeah. You're picking them out.
All right, I'm ready to try it.
Yeah.
You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Oh. It's kind of stiff at the beginning there.
Is it?
Compared to the 40 Creek that we just had?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, and that's going to be the difference between your bourbons and your Canadian whiskeys, too.
Oh, okay.
Canadians will traditionally be more subtle, and we didn't really talk about it much in there, but Canadian whiskeys, they can add in neutral grain spirits to soften kind of the full whiskey taste that you're going to get. And in like bourbons, because you have to use the new American oak barrel, you're getting a lot of the strong wood flavors right away. So really you're going to get a huge amount of flavor. What do you think? Try that? Yeah. You're like, I don't know. This is cool, yeah. We're going to try it. Yeah. They look pretty good. So, what do you think of this one? Like this is actually by your request, so this is kind of...
Yeah, so what's we happen to have this handy. Let's see, this is 40% alcohol.
Yep. And that's 45. Do you think you can taste the difference in the proof on that?
I can taste more alcohol in that one.
Can you?
I don't know if it's just because the mash bill is different, that it's more prominent, but...
Now, I wasn't really looking. Did you make a whiskey face on this one?
No.
Are you getting used to it? Are those going to be a thing of the past before long?
Probably.
You didn't say one thing about just smelling the burn or tasting the burn on this one.
A minute ago, I got some alcohol like in my eye, and my eye burned. I didn't know you could do that.
So what do you think of this one compared to the rest of them? I guess a 40 Creek is your top. Where's this one coming in at for you?
It's pretty good.
You like that? If he likes this one, then I'm really excited to have him try the Four Roses.
It's more manly than the 40 Creek.
I like that idea. Like it's just more in the glass, right? Like that one's like an easy sipper, and this one, I think this one's pretty good for.
This is really good.
And that's where like all the guys on Reddit talk about it, where it's just it's a good find. And this is like a $25 bottle, $23 bottle. So ultimately, I mean, it's among some of the cheaper whiskeys for most people, unless you're drinking the Lord Calverts. And then if you want to spring for it, you can really step up. Actually, step up a lot in flavor and not so much in price. I guess actually over the Lord Calvert, that's probably double the price. But
this one's really intriguing. It like makes my mouth kind of tingled a little bit.
Okay.
And I can't tell if it's from the alcohol or something else.
I'm assuming from the alcohol.
Well, it's only 5% more than the 40 Creek, and the 40 Creek wasn't doing that.
Yeah.
Of course, I'm drinking more of this.
Mm-hmm. All right, I guess that's about it, huh?
That one wouldn't be. That'd be something nice to have.
You wouldn't mind having that in your cabinet? next to that 40 Creek.
Have to get a cabinet first, but
You have a cupboard that I'm sure would contain a couple more bottles that would be easy enough. I'm assuming you'll never get to the extent I'm at.
no. Is there some spice in there or something, or
what do you mean?
It's got a, I don't know, I'm confused.
Like the oakiness flavor. Now, understand, a bourbon cannot have anything added to it at all. It's just got to be your mash, distilled, barreled. That's it. You can't add any additives to it. You can't add any extra things at all. It has to be just the bourbon barreled, and that's it.
Kind of just makes my mouth burn more than the 40 Creek.
All right.
I don't know if it's from alcohol or...
It could be. And I see.
Of course, I did kind of swish it around a little bit in there.
Oh, all right.
Trying to, just get some flavors out.
All right, well, now that you've switched it around, try it again and see if you still get that same burn. He must like it. He's really taking good sips. All right, how is that?
Unprofessional.
No, it isn't. I have seen whiskey review videos where swishing, and that is completely acceptable. Like,
oh, really?
Yeah, like that's part of the tasting and review.
My teeth feel cleaner.
Maybe we should have used some higher proof whiskey.
What was the question?
How do you like it?
Yeah, it's good.
Even after that?
Even after that. This might be really good to cook with. Like recipes that call for whiskey.
Yeah, for bourbon or something. Yeah.
I bet it'd be really good.
I like drinking this and sipping on it, but I also have it because of the price. It's one of my go-to mixing bourbons for any recipe that calls for a bourbon, for a cocktail. Mm-hmm. I like it because I can sip it, I can mix it in a cocktail, and then I mix some of my scotches and some of my other bourbons in a cocktail. And a lot of the flavors you get out of a nice bourbon or a nice scotch, in particular for myself, a whiskey sour with Lafroig, or other peated whiskeys work well too, but Lafroig just works really well for me, is that it really comes through, and you can tell, like you can taste the difference in there versus like a bourbon, but you kind of feel a little bit bad using that kind of a whiskey in a cocktail, but it does improve the cocktail. So I do like having a Buffalo Trace, one to sip on and to mix in your cocktails, because it's a good bourbon that you can mix without, and it still comes out with a good cocktail.
I like it.
Cool. Well, we found a bourbon he likes. Now, like I said it earlier, I'm really excited for the Four Roses episode, because that's one of my favorite bourbons, and it sounds like if he likes this stuff more than he liked the Maker's Mark, maybe he'll like the Four Roses better.
This is in my top 10 for sure.
Is it? All right. We've only tried 12. All right. No, we've only tried 11? 10? 10? I don't know. All right.
I'm not a
before
liar.
we end the episode, let me...
Oh, we didn't save any for the...
Yeah, it's all right. Normally, we would just save some out of our glasses if we didn't drink, but he liked it so much.
That's pretty good.
Want me to top you off? All right. We're never measuring. Maybe a little more. All right, that's good enough. When we get enough of these filled so we can fill that barrel, then we're going to put them in the barrel and let them mix and age in the barrel, and then we'll give it a try. All right, I guess that
concludes the episode. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, ring the bell. What do they say?
I don't know. It's in every episode. I tune it out now because I hear it, so that's why I haven't even tried to say it.
Leave a comment below about...
You know what? The comments are actually going to be more important than anything else. Not because of anything, but just because I'm curious to see what you're going to say. Good or bad, I'm more interested in just what's going to be said. If you have a whiskey that you would like me to see if I have to let him try, leave that, of course. If you have your favorite whiskey, would love to hear what it is. And hopefully we can find the episode before long that showcases that.
Good deal.
I think, yeah. All right. Cheers.